So your main goal this year is to hit your first 10k month, which I really respect because that's a really good goal and that is exactly the goal I had last year. But I just want to tell you what you should kind of do once you hit that 10k month and sort of how you should go about it and the mindset you should have, because I think a big thing in the e-com space is this 10k month sort of goal has become this, like, fantasy reality of what you should do once you hit this 10k month. Now, obviously, a lot of people, a lot of gurus, especially in the space, who are trying to sell courses to you, are going to tell you like this fancy 10k month, make 10k in a month, and then you're going to be able to buy a supercar, you're going to be able to travel the world, you're going to be able to do this, you're going to be able to do that. Now, as a 16-year-old who hit his first 10k month last year in Q4, I want to tell you what my life looks like and looked like during the time and now after the time, and how I've gone about it. Now, it's not financial advice because obviously it's completely up to you what you do with it, but it's just a little bit of a speak from my own experience and what I saw worked for me and helped me stay sort of on track, even, after hitting that goal. So I think the first thing you want to sort of consider is how long you've been doing it for, like how long you've been doing whatever business model you're doing. I do organic dropshipping. I'm guessing if you're watching this, you might do the same thing. But if not, it doesn't matter whatever you're doing, right? You made your 10k, you want to make your first 10k month, right? So what you want to do is, obviously, first things first, setting that goal and setting that fundamental that you want to hit that 10k month this year is like definitely something you should be doing. If you haven't hit that yet, it's definitely a good target to aim for. Not just because obviously 10k is like a good amount of money, a lot of money. I'm talking like 10k profit here as well. Obviously 10k revenue is still amazing, but like 10k profit month is what I'm sort of like going on about here. And if you want to, if that's what you're aiming for, you've got to understand that even though 10k is a lot of money, it's not money that you should be like spending on stupid stuff. Like with my 10k, I'll hardly spend money. Honestly, that's one thing I've sort of lived by. At least until I've got six figures, I'm not planning to spend like huge amounts of money on stupid things that aren't, gonna make me more money. And I think that's the kind of mindset I've adapted, and that I would definitely recommend it. If you're gonna hit your first 10k month, you don't want to go and blast it all, because the problem with that is that you could end up making that 10k and then you go and blast it all on stuff and then regret buying the stuff, and then you're like, well, I've hit a 10k month, but I've got nothing to show for it because, all this stuff that I've just bought is just a waste, and I've technically not got 10k. So based on my money, I honestly haven't touched it a lot. Like, I've obviously been getting like new products and stuff like that, and that's the majority where some of my money's gone. But if we base it on like personal purchases, I haven't really bought anything at all. Obviously, I've not invested, but I've made like a new filming setup for myself, which it was only like £200 anyway, so that wasn't really anything crazy. But I think what I'm trying to say here is like the reality you want to do. You don't want to like overdo it. You don't want to overspend with that money. So obviously, I'm not like saying just save every little penny and everything like that, but don't just make 10k in a month and then blast it all on stupid things. Like, keep your head screwed on, because the problem is if you like set this life goal of hitting your first 10k profit month and then you hit the goal and then you're like, well, I'm fulfilled, I've done everything. If you do that, then you're not going to be motivated to go further, because 10k profit in a month is very, 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 very impressive, right? Especially if you're like at a young age. But 10k in a month is not going to it's not like life-changing money. I mean, obviously, if you could do it every month, then that is life-changing. But if you do it on just 1 month, just that one-off occasion, it's not life-changing, because even though it's a lot of money, it's not going to take you that far in terms of, living, in terms of buying cool things, in terms of anything, really. It's not anything too crazy, because like your dream car is probably 5 to 10 times the amount of that 10k. So obviously, if you look at it that way, it's not that, big. And that's why I say don't get like too overheaded over it, and like don't get too complacent once you hit that number, because there's definitely a lot more for you to achieve. I think the first 0 to 10k is difficult, and now I'm striving for the 10k to 100k, because that is my goal for this year, to hit 6 figures. Now, once, like, I want to sort of say like what I've kind of learned after making that 10k, because that 10k was obviously one of my big goals. And now what I've kind of learned after it is exactly what I've just told you. It's, even though it feels really special to be able to do, once you, like, in the moment, it doesn't actually feel that special. Like, you'll know when it's your time, when when God chooses to reward you, or when you finally put all that work in and you're finally going to actually get rewarded for it, you'll know how it will feel. In the moment, it doesn't actually feel like you'd think it would, if you get what I mean. Like, I was full on just getting Shopify notification after Shopify notification, having all these like massive record days, but it didn't even feel like unreal. And the reason for that is because, again, like I say, I'm trying to strive for consistency, and obviously hitting this in my first month was amazing. Well, not my first, you know what I mean, like my first 10k month, it was amazing. And this was after a while, like over a year of like doing dropshipping, and it's crazy. But what you really want to look for is consistency, because that is where it all comes in. Like, obviously, I was excited to do that, but I want it to be consistent. I want it to be like every single month. I want to be pushing for more. And that's exactly why you need to keep your head screwed on and keep focused even after hitting a target. Because if you don't do that, then you're not going to be consistent with it. And that's exactly what you want to do. You don't want to just be a one-off. You don't want to just, hit this one big goal and then just drop off, fall off. And that's exactly what happened to me last year. And that's why I've repeated this story a few times, because, well, not last year, but the year before that, like a few months into dropshipping, I found my first winner, and I made like 6k with it, which obviously isn't crazy, but it for a first, like second, third product, as like basically a kid, like finding a product like that's pretty crazy. So I made that amount, and then I kind of fell off going into the year after that, into the start of 2024, just because I'd kind of, again, done this thing where I was like, I hadn't kept my head screwed on. I'd just gone, oh, this is crazy. I've just done 6k in a month at like 14, 15. But when you think like that, it's not going to help you go forwards. It's not going to help you advance, because it's exactly what happened to me. I thought that, and I was like, okay, well, it's going to be easy from here. But it definitely wasn't at all. And like, that's why the start of 2024 was really rough for me. And my sales had gone down, and the problem is with my sales going down, because I've had this like mindset where I was like, oh, it's going to be easy from here. I've gone and I've climbed the mountain, now I just need to stay on top. But trust me, it's not that easy, especially when you're just starting. Like, if you're a beginner watching this, if you hit your record month soon, then it's going to be absolutely amazing. It's going to be crazy. But you've then got to stay on top of that. And that's exactly why I'm making this video, because you've got to just take that strategy I've just told you, just keeping your head screwed on and keeping in the game, and not sort of overriding yourself, not like, messing up your mind. Because when I obviously thought that, that's when I started getting less sales. And when I was getting less sales, I was then feeling negative. I was feeling down on the days I get less sales, and that's what kind of then made my outputs worse, and then that even recorded to my inputs becoming even worse, or the other way around, sorry. But yeah, that's why I say it, because if you get too overexcited over this goal, and then you'll like, if you get too overexcited over a goal, and if you look at it in the more negative way, where you think, okay, it's gonna be easy from here, I'll take it on the low, I'll make this, like, maybe make less videos now because I've hit this goal, or maybe I'll make, I don't know what business you do, but you know what I'm saying, like, maybe I'll do a little bit less work now because it's got easier, it's going to be easier from here. But you just got to understand that that's not always the case, and you don't want that mindset ever, because if you have that mindset, you're just destined to sort of fall off, or not even fall off, but if you are to then not achieve or not, push through as you were expecting, then that's when you kind of get this negative mindset, and that's going to, make it harder to, you're not then just going to be focusing on hitting goals, you're then going to be focusing on keeping yourself and your mind in the game, which you don't want to have to do. You want that to just be there, you want that just to be, automatic. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about this video, because yeah, I don't script these videos or anything like that. I generally just think, okay, that's a really cool idea there, or that's some good value I can share, or I'm basically just documenting my journey as well as we go along, and I just want to share with you guys value that I've learned along the way, and also just have these documentaries to look back on when I have made it and when I have become a millionaire, and when I've done, when I've got my dream car, everything like that. I can come back to these videos and I'd be like, that's really cool, this date, this time, this is what I was thinking, this is how old I was, stuff like that. So yeah, if you want to see more videos like this and you want me to, explain things, answer questions, provide value, document my journey, stuff like that, then please consider subscribing, because I'm uploading daily and I'm on the grind right now. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you took some value from this. I hope you kind of understood the mindset there. I might have yapped a little bit, but there's definitely some value within my yapping. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.